winners. Let the pros show you how to make money. General Manager Al DeMarco, a regular contributor on Fox Sports, MSNBC, and Comcast Sports TV, brings over 25 years of handicapping experience to the table. CEO Steve Budin, the author of Bets, Drugs, and Rock and Roll, is the man responsible for creating the online betting industry. Together, they lead the world's largest online sports handicapping community, your #1 source for winners.
It's a holiday tradition, Thanksgiving and NFL football. Hi, everyone. Al DeMarco here along with Steve Budin, and this is the Thanksgiving Day edition of the Countdown to Kickoff program, the only nationally televised TV show to break down all your NFL games from a point spread perspective. And Steve, so many years in the past, these Thanksgiving Day games have been turkeys. Let's just be honest with you. I mean, you know, Detroit losing by 142 points, Chicago losing by 173 points. But today we've got 3 good games. You know, and in fact, these 3 games today are better than just about every single game we've got on the Sunday slate.
Finally, something to compete with the mashed potatoes. And speaking of the mashed potatoes, I know you guys are interested out there. Over-under for weight gain this year through Christmas is right at about 12.5 points. It's also 3.5 chins. And depending on the angle, hey, I may be there already.
12.5 points. He's being generous. It's 12.5 pounds for him. Hey, let's start with the nighttime game first. Baltimore, San Francisco, you know the deal. John Harbaugh against Jim Harbaugh, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
But the key in this contest, you know, I think San Francisco has been playing so much better than Baltimore coming into this game. I mean, yes, they are 9-1 straight up, 9-0-1 against the spread so far this season, including 4-0, both straight up and against the spread on the road. This Baltimore team, defensively, they are not what they once were. They have played well in fits and little times here, you know, against the Steelers. I'm thinking here earlier this season, occasionally at home. But this is a Baltimore team that couldn't stop Arizona at home. This is a Baltimore team that got upset at Seattle, got upset at Tennessee. A Baltimore team that last week jumped out to a 31-14 advantage against Cincinnati playing at home, and then suddenly had to hold on for dear life against Andy Dalton, winning that game 31-24 as the Bengals had a late charge and tried to come back in the fourth quarter. You know, they deserve to be a 3-point favorite here in this contest. And I like the way that their offense, their game plan was last week. You know, 2 weeks ago at Seattle, you know, Joe Flacco was throwing the ball 52 times. Ray Rice had 5 carries. Last week, Ray Rice, 20 carries, 104 yards. Joe Flacco's 27 passes, 17 completions, 270 yards. That's what Baltimore has to do. Question is, can they do it against the San Francisco defense?
Well, that's why this is once again my Viagra special of the week, because Baltimore has not been able to get it up 2 times in a row. I mean, every time they have a good game, they come out of it with a bad game. I mean, why is this going to be any different? And in the same respect, you know, San Francisco, well, they've been getting up every single week. And if you've been betting on them every single week, you've been winning every single week. So at this point, I'm not going to change. I'm going to stay with exactly what's been going on. I'm going to go with San Francisco. I think momentum is everything in this sport. I think they've got the momentum. I think they win this game.
I'm going to go the opposite way, even though I'm the guy who has said repeatedly the Ravens are team schizophrenic. By the way, I was waiting for the punchline. I didn't know where the Viagra joke was going to go, but now I know. I'm going to go with Baltimore here. At 3, I would obviously buy down the hit point, whether it's 3, 3.5, or 4, because San Francisco is not going to win out. This team is eventually going to have a hiccup, and I think they had the hiccup here. Now, does that mean Flacco's going to come out and throw the ball 62 times tonight instead of having a nice bounce between run and throw? I don't know. You never know with Baltimore. That's why they're schizophrenic. But I like the Ravens. Not a game I would bet on, but I can't wait to watch this game tonight.
Well, I do wonder how many times San Francisco can keep going across the country and winning. But they've been able to do it so far, and I'm not going to bail out on them now.
Okay, next one is going to be Dallas and Miami. Hey, break up the Dolphins. By the way, last week I told you, like the Dolphins, I was ready to get on that Miami bandwagon. They have won and covered 3 in a row, of course, their first 3 wins of the entire season. You know, the defense has really been dominant. Their last 3 opponents, although granted, the Bills, who are slumping, Washington, which is slumping, Kansas City, which is awful, have certainly struggled. You know, they've outscored them by an average of 29-7 in those 3 games, and they have not allowed a touchdown in those 3 games with those 3 opponents with 35 possession series. pretty impressive defensive effort by the Dolphins.
Absolutely. And this Dallas team, I mean, held on for life and death to beat a garbage team in Washington. And that's why betting the Cowboys has always been so hard, whether you're betting on them or against them, because you never know which team is going to show up, and it almost never relates to the week before. I mean, I look at this game and think, hey, Miami's supposed to win. They're the team with the momentum. They're actually playing the better ball, but not so fast because this is the Cowboys, and you never know what they're going to do. I think I'm going to go with the Cowboys here and lay the 7.
Well, Romo has played extremely well here of late. Last 3 games,
and he's doing things that show me he's healthy. He's moving and passing. He's avoiding the rush, finding the open guy, and zipping it in. That's something that we haven't seen from him in a few weeks.
Well, no, meaning early in the season.
Right.
The last few weeks we've actually seen it because he's over the broken ribs. That's the key to Romo. His passer rating's been over 100 each of the last 3 games. Hasn't been intercepted in that span. And of course, here numbers-wise, and this is the great thing about numbers in this business, guys. As a handicapper for over 25 years, I can tell you that the Cowboys are 2-12 against the spread. Their last 14 as a favorite. I can tell you the Dolphins have covered 20 of their last 28 on the road.
But the odds makers know it.
But right, and then I can tell you, hey, Tony Romo's 18-2 straight up in his career in November. So you tell me which way to go. Well, this is my best bet on the board, so I'm not going to tell you which way to go. But you like?
You know what? I'm going to probably buy your best bet, but if I had to guess, I would say Dallas minus the 7, if I had to guess.
Well, Miami.
And only because I don't think Dallas can win. And every time I don't think Dallas can win, they win and cover.
Hedging against his own
That's
self.
exactly
there
correct.
You
Just
go.
what I told everybody not to do.
Okay. Green Bay, Detroit, your first game on today's Thanksgiving Day slate. Packers minus 6 against the Lions. Lions last week, they found themselves down 24-7 at home against Carolina, then rallied to win at 49-35. I don't care that Kevin Smith has come in here, had a great game coming off the couch from a few weeks ago. He would have been watching this game if it wasn't for all the injuries that the Lions had suffered here lately. But, 16 carries, 140 yards.
They needed that. I told you Stafford's arm was going to fall off.
Well, and Stafford, 335 yards and 5 touchdown passes. But again, that was Carolina. I know the Packers defense. Well, I can't say what they really are, but let's just say they stink, okay? But this was Carolina, a team that really has no pass rush, a team that really has no linebacker play that's good enough to be in the NFL at the moment. I think the Packers are the play here. I think that we are getting the benefit of the Packers having the letdown after building the early lead against Tampa Bay and Detroit roaring back for that impressive win against Carolina. We are getting benefit in this line. If the Packers had blown out the Buccaneers last week, they are laying 9 here. They're laying 6. I think that makes them a great play.
The problem is that most gamblers out here are looking at this game and saying to themselves, well, if Green Bay was going to lose a game this season, this could potentially be that one game. And most people don't think any team is going to ever go undefeated. So they're having a hard time betting Green Bay here. But me, I look at this game and I see one thing. Green Bay and the number 6 next to it. And any time, no matter what, that you can lay less than a touchdown with Green Bay, I think you have to do it.
Yeah, I agree with you here. I think Green Bay is absolutely the play here. 12-4 ATS run, of course, 16 consecutive straight-up victories as well. So it does not matter at all to me that they gave up 455 yards at home to a desperate Tampa team last week. It doesn't matter to me that they're playing this game in Ford Field where the crowd noise is going to be loud.
No, because those are games that other teams would have lost in those scenarios. They still found out a way to pull out those games and win them.
Right, and Detroit, if I hear one more thing about the crowd noise, where I was going was that, well, what happened when Detroit played Atlanta at home? They lost. What happened when they played San Francisco at home? They lost. This team is not undefeated at home, guys, especially this year. They are a good team, but I still don't think that Kevin Smith is the answer here. Yes, he's given them a little ground support, but I think you go ahead and lay the points. And as I said, I think there's a benefit here and a value because the Packers, to me, should be a 9.5 point choice. At 6, they're a bargain basement steal.
Yeah, I also give this total at 55.5 a second look because these teams don't know how to do anything but go up and down the field. Have you ever seen Aaron Rodgers in a kill the clock scenario? Never. He doesn't know how to do it. Same thing on the other side. All they know how to do is throw 10, 20, and 30 yards down the field. They may score 50 points in the first half.
Guys, that'll do it for this Thanksgiving Day edition of the Countdown to Kickoff program. Remember, online, you can get my daily video reports where I've got money-saving discount, coupon codes, free offers, and my own free picks where I've won 10 of my last 11 in the NFL over the past 3 weeks. Not too shabby with the plays I'm giving away. 8-0 best bet sweep for me the past 2 weeks with my top plays in basketball and football combined. So check it out online. It's the daily video report. It's free to watch. No registration required. No purchase necessary either. For Steve Budin, Al DeMarco, happy Thanksgiving to all of you out there. And remember, we will be back tomorrow with our Countdown to Kickoff edition for your entire Sunday card. We'll catch you then.